Meaningful work is in the eye of the beholder. If it's meaningful to the person who's doing it, then it's meaningful. However, it is perhaps possible to identify some general principles that apply broadly to work. After all, while meaningful work may not necessarily have any objective features, there are nevertheless social norms that define different kinds of work in different ways. Such norms are collectively constructed. In other words, we can think of meaningful work as symbolically created by individuals and groups, as well as by larger societal discourses that circulate through society in various media. People experience work as meaningful to the extent that they have agency or choice-making control over which their work is conducted. A second characteristic of meaningful work is that it enhances our sense of connection to others. Third, work can also be meaningful if we're awarded opportunities to affect the organizations for which we work, or to shape particular social issues that are important to us. A fourth characteristic of meaningful work refers to the use of our skills in our work. We all want to be in jobs and careers where our talents are put to good use and allowed to flourish. We would all like to think that the work we do contributes to making the world a better place, even if in a small way. Clearly, this fifth criterion is an easier one in some professions than in others. The changes in work and society over the past 50 years have led to a condition in which one's identity. The current state of the global political and economic environment means that such stability and continuity are increasingly hard to achieve. The result is that long-term planning has been replaced by short-term thinking, frequently dictated by the quarterly report. More and more responsibility is placed on employees to be flexible and to adapt to these changing conditions, or be considered dinosaurs and expendable. One might argue that the stable, bureaucratic organization has been replaced by the constantly changing institutional forms that value disloyalty, irresponsibility, and immediate gratification. There appears to be a negative relationship between job security and managerial efforts over the past 50 years to make work more meaningful and rewarding. Not surprisingly, risk hasn't been felt by all workers equally. The crisis of identity is further intensified because organizations have constructed a close link between identity and control. Corporations have shifted from behavioral forms of control to control that processes and focuses much more heavily on the soul of the individual employee. We can think about employees not simply as possessors of skill sets who perform tasks for the organization, but equally important as identity workers who are asked to incorporate the latest managerial discourse into their self-identity. There's a more complex relationship between employee identity and forms of organizational control in the post-Fordist organization than in the traditional Fordist bureaucracy. Part of this complexity is due to the fact that we have shifted from a society in which selves are ascribed to one in which selves are achieved. On the other hand, achieved selves reflect more fluid social structures in which greater onus is placed on the ability of the individual to carve out a relatively stable, coherent identity. We are continuously engaged in forming, repairing, or revising identity.